to close off chapter 3 on the direct method of entering into the phase, I'll just touch on some of the stuff that I've skipped over so far. So first up, for most practitioners, a key piece of advice is to let go of a burning desire to enter the phase no matter what when using the direct method. One's mind should be almost completely indifferent as to how successful the attempt will be. If it works, great. If not, who cares? And that's actually like the general outlook I have towards my lucid dreaming practice overall, where I try to have lucid dreams essentially like every night. I just don't try that hard for them. But this is extra important when it comes to trying to utilize the direct method or have what us lucid dreamers would call wilds. Because if there is an excessive desire to get results right here and now, it basically just keeps you too awake and you won't be able to fall asleep, which is also why it puts that 10 to 20 minute cap on how long you should be trying these direct methods, as you're going to sleep. Because if 20 minutes goes by and you're still wide awake, he basically recommends just to drop it, because say you do stick with it, you're basically dealing with insomnia at this point, you're going at it for 2 hours, and then say in the end you're unsuccessful. That can really be demoralizing and kind of start to build some contempt towards the practice, and you definitely don't want that. Then he gives us this example here where say like, someone's at a party and, they're telling this person they haven't seen for a long time, like their awesome direct method phase experience or their awesome wild they had. So then the friend goes home and, kind of just passively tries, the techniques that they were talking about at the party or whatever. And then they're successful, right? They have this super awesome, deep phase experience. They got to witness, how awesome this dreaming state can be. And then the next night, right, having glimpsed it, they're really excited and want to get back there again. But now that they have all this expectation and desire to try and get there, they get stuck in that negative feedback loop of not being able to fall asleep, staying awake for too long, not being successful, and then, starting to build some contempt towards the practice. So definitely something to watch out for. Then he also talks about how sleep deprivation, can be beneficial or make it a lot easier to have these direct methods work. But he says you don't want to rely on that. And he says like relying on that is the exclusive domain of novices, which I think is pretty funny. He also talks about how it doesn't have to just be straight sleep deprivation. If you're like really physically tired, like you ran a marathon that day, or you're really like emotionally fatigued, that can work similarly as to being sleep deprived as well. Where are we at? There are several signposts that will clearly indicate whether or not a phaser is on track to reach his goal of mastering the direct method. First, an unsuccessful attempt should not cause one to feel irritable or feel one is wasting time. That's the first sign of a strategic mistake regarding the process. Next is enjoyment of the very process of performing the techniques. If a practitioner enjoys working with the techniques he is doing and finds them pleasant, then they will work much better and be much more likely to lead to the phase. If such problems exist, one should reconsider one's attitude towards the techniques and try to become interested in the mere performance of them. Direct techniques seldom produce quick and clear results, unlike entering the phase via becoming conscious while dreaming, which is what the next chapter is about, or through the use of indirect techniques. There was one more thing I think I wanted to read in here somewhere. Oh, this one. In order to obtain the best results at 3-day experimental seminars, instructors either completely omit the direct techniques or wait until the last day to teach them, as to not tempt novices to use them and subsequently ruin the group's success rate. So really just all kind of highlighting how you don't want to be relying on, the direct techniques to, routinely get to the phase. I mean, use them occasionally, like for example, if you are sleep deprived, but if not, you're probably better off doing the indirect method. You're just trying to get, lucid in a dream the classic way, reality checks and stuff like that. And I'll just touch on this again too, because I think I only said it in one video, but it's a pretty important aspect of it. Okay, so it does not matter which direct technique is used as long as it leads to lapses in consciousness success is possible. So that's getting to that whole microsleep thing where you are doing whatever, phantom wiggling, observing images. You're really just doing that, trying to get down to this microsleep stage, and then you can go ahead and, try to appear at the mirror or separate from your stencil, or just do what I typically do, and then I'll just basically go from the hypnagogic imagery into a dream scene. The only downside to that is I like appearing in my room because it happens to me so rarely. I can very consistently get to like whatever, some random dream scene, but observing images works pretty good to get you to a random dream scene. Not so good to have you be dreaming of being in your bedroom or something like that. But anyway, we'll wrap that up there, and the next chapter will be on the classic lucid dreaming stuff.